What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Carlotta Chat with Show. I am Carlotta, and okay, I had a little technical difficulty on the first one, but I am back, you guys. Okay, so wanted to do a little show for you this week, man. You know what? It's been quite the week. Okay, this is the start of school. It started this week for me, and listen, I just got my books and everything. I haven't done anything. Oh my god. I am trying to get ready for this cruise and prepare for, preparing for school too, because I'm doing school and this cruise. Man, okay. Oh, Lord. And so so for those of you who haven't been listening, and people who know that I'm a big Maxwell fan, I'm a huge Maxwell fan. So I'm going to Maxwell's cruise this year, first year, Maxwell's cruise. And I was like, I don't know what to wear. I don't know what to do. And now I've got a lot of my friends who are Maxwell girl. I call them Maxwell girls who are going, and they've been informing me on things, telling me how to do things. I am trying to decide this is more. It's more not okay. And I was talking to a friend the other day about this, and my friend goes, "I really believe you." But I was saying this is really not for me more, even though I'm a big Maxwell fan and I can't wait to see Max. I love seeing Max. I'm always excited to see Maxwell, okay? But even though I'm excited to see Maxwell and the rest of the artists that are going to be on the cruise, it really is for me, it's more of an adventure for me. So I'm excited about this whole process and everything that I've been kind of going through with it. It's fun. I'm excited. I'm a little nervous. My granny keeps saying, "How you going out there on that boat with no and you don't know how to swim?" I said, "Leave me alone, okay? It's your fault." Because when you was a little, you could swim. I was like, "But I can't anymore. I don't really know." Just pray for the best. Yeah, so I'm excited about it. Yeah, I am so excited. So yeah, I'm really excited. I've been doing good on my weight loss journey. I decided to tell you guys about that last week. I went to the doctor yesterday. I had such great results. My doctor was like, "Yes, babe, you're doing it." I'm excited. And then one of my friends calls me up and she's like, "You look good." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not where I want to be. I haven't hit the I have a certain mark to go." And she's like, "No, you look like you're that now." I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm not there." But I'm excited, man. It's really, I'm so excited about the weight loss journey, the trip. I don't even know, I'm not gonna be no what's her name? What's the girl? What's the girl who won the award the other night? I forget the girl's name that won the award. But Lord have mercy, I ain't gonna be Tiana Taylor. I'm not gonna be looking like Tiana. But good for me, okay? I'm excited. I'm super excited about this trip. So now, okay, so the other day we got the theme nights for, I don't know, it's kind of late. I'm like, I'm a Virgo moon. So I'm sitting there going, why are you guys just showing? I mean, why are we just now getting what the theme nights are going to be in January? I'm like, you had a whole fucking year for this cruise. That's my Virgo moon, the Virgo moon in me. The Leo is like, oh, what are we gonna wear on the theme nights? And the Scorpio is like, yo, like let's just get this cruise on the road and over with. So I'm a Scorpio sun, Virgo moon, and a Leo rising, and that's all three of them talking. And the Libra is inside of me trying to, my stellium and Libra is trying to balance all the shit. And my Cancer North South though just wants me to stay home or stay in the boat and just don't do anything. Capricorn North though is like, oh my God, it's adventurous. We can do adventure. We can learn about new things. That's all that astrology going on in me right now. So it's funny. So I'm that, yeah, but I'm excited. Yes, I am. What sounds okay? So they have like a career. Okay, so first night, I think they're having like a 70s night. So I had to completely change my outfit. I'm like, the fuck? Even though I had a feeling they were going to do a 70s night, I already had something. I have two outfits for like I could think about wearing, and I'm not sure which one, but I think I have an idea. I have like this disco kind of like hot pink thing. It's really sexy. Then I have this like 70s flower child kind of cute little outfit. And I think I want to do the 70s flower child and, flowers in my hair and stuff like that. I love flowers in my hair. Anytime you give me flowers in my hair, I'm going to do it. So that's what I'm excited. I think I'm gonna do that. Then they have a Caribbean night, and I don't know. I'm going back and forth about what I should wear for the Caribbean night. You know what I'm saying? Then they have like a regular night and then a white night. Oh God, just a white night. Why can't we do other things than white night? How about red night? Pink night, black night for a Scorpio black night. But yeah, everybody has a white night. So I have two outfits that I'm thinking about for the white night. Okay. I just ordered this one outfit, super cute. And I don't know if I'm gonna be, if I'm gonna be where I want to be to wear it. It's super cute. And then I have another white, just in case. But it's super cute. It really is. I can't wait to see it. It's like it's got beads. I can't really, to tell you guys how cute it is. Y'all know how I like fashion, right? I'm a fashion, now listen, I'm not no fashion with like in terms of the name brands and stuff. I have like certain name brands, but I'm not really a name brand person. Not anymore. Maybe years ago I was. Years ago, not anymore. Very not. I have a favorite shop. I'm actually kind of I kind of like the online shops. I like Pretty Little Things, Akira, all the things that people shop at. Fashion Nova, I love. If I can find, a lot of times people can't believe I get things from Fashion Nova. Every time I think because what it is that people don't understand Fashion Nova. You have to know I tend to do the Nova Luxe brand. Okay, so people don't know it's hidden inside Fashion Nova's website. They have a Nova Luxe brand, and the Nova Luxe is really like they have these beautiful suits and dresses. And speaking of that, I have this beautiful red. Oh my God, I need to think about that. I haven't thought about it. I have this beautiful red suit. I'm like, ooh, it'd be perfect for a cruise. It's actually gorgeous. But yeah. So like the Nova Luxe brand is their more fancier stuff. They have a fancier side, and people don't know. I don't think a lot of people know about it, and it's really neat. They have some of the nicest pieces, and I tend to go there. And so a lot of my friends didn't even know. It was like, Nova, what? And a lot of my friends don't know. A lot of people don't know about Akira. Akira is one of my favorite places because I think, am I saying the name Accra or Akira? I don't know, but it's one of my favorite places to shop. They have some of the strangest pieces and really odd things and stuff like that. You don't have to spend a lot of money. I'm a Dillard's Outlet girl. I love Dillard's Outlet. I just had on some shoes the other day. People were going off about I had on, and people were like, "Where do you get those?" Like Dillard's Outlet. I'm a Nike girl. Everybody knows. I even know I wear Adidas and I wear other shoe brands. I love I'm saying it right, Hoka brand. I buy them a lot for workout and stuff like that. So yeah, I have particular shoes, but I'm a really big Nike person. So a lot of times, and I get it always. I never pay like big money. People think I do, but I don't. I'm a big sale. I'm a big catch it on sale. And I feel like you don't need name brands to look your best. I really don't. I feel like that's just a waste of, it's if you're Beyonce, sure. Or if you're, you know what I'm saying? All the celebrities. Yeah, but no, not for, yeah, I try to look like a celebrity at way below the price. But yeah, so this particular outfit I picked is from the Nova Luxe brand. And some people be mad that I'm telling about the Nova Luxe brand, but if you go into this website, you search it, you can find it. But it is beautiful. It is so pretty, and I'm like, oh my God, I don't know. I be stunting. I like to stunt. I'm a Leo ascendant. Okay. So okay, yes, my Scorpio sun argues with my Leo ascendant all the time. My Virgo moon is just in the middle, going, "What the hell?" But like my Leo sun loves to stunt. It's like, yo, like, show out, bitch. But I'm shy. The Scorpio sun is like, no, we're not shy. Hold up, too much light. So I'm at conflict. I always want to stunt, but then I'm so shy when I stunt. I'm like, okay, I'm kind of shy. And I know you guys are like, seriously, Carlotta, on this show, we can't tell. Yes, there is really a shy girl. Listen, I'm always amazed that when I do meet and greets, I tell you I'm not good at them. I always kind of, even though you know what, I my I'm always very shy. I'm always like, hi. And this time, I've always had odd meet and greets at Maxwell. My meet and greets at Maxwell have always been strange. I don't know why they're strange. They just turned out to be strange. The first meet and greet, it wasn't so strange. The first one, the first one was kind of nice because it was like, okay, like, oh wow, like either he's a great actor or he's like he makes you feel very welcome, and he's like, oh yeah, like we finally meet. I'm like, okay, you know me. Like, it was weird. Okay, then the second time, St. Louis was fun. I actually like St. Louis. I don't know what to say about that time. It was strange. I don't know, it was weird. I come in and it takes me a minute to get what he's doing. I don't really get, because he's such an odd, I think I don't know. I don't know if he's a troller of his fans or not, but he's such an odd energy. And so he's like, is it Scorpio season? I'm like, huh? Why is he asking? Is it Scorpio season? What the fuck is he talking about? It's like October, the like mid October, like early October. And then I realized, oh, are you directing that at me? It was so weird. It was great, but it was cute. I thought it was so cute. And then I was like, okay, this is weird. And then always the interaction, because I think I'm so shy. So it's always really strange. And then my third meet and greet was it's in Kansas City. And it was super like awkward. All I know is my heart was beating. It was the first sign I needed to probably fucking lose weight. He goes, your heart, is that your heart? I'm like, what? Your heart. I hear your heartbeat. That was the weirdest. I was like, huh? What the fuck? Like, you don't hear my heartbeat. Then I thought maybe you do, because it might have took me maybe the walk back here fucked me up. I don't know. It was cute. And he's like, oh, I hear your heart. I was like, what? So every meet and greet is strange, okay? And then my last meet and greet, I don't even know what to say about. All I know is I remember him singing at the end to me, la la la, la la. I don't know what it was. I said, is he singing to me? My mind was there because I was trying to be present. Is he singing to me? I don't know. It's always great though. They're always, but I'm so super shy. I am super. So people, when you meet me in person, do not be shocked that I am super shy. I am really. I'm shy. I'm not super shy. It depends on what day you catch me on. Okay, it really does. And what it is, when I drink, I become my mom. So I don't tend to drink. No, I drink, you know what I'm saying? Not in a good way. I'm kind of loud. I'm like, yeah, whatever. But I don't, I tend not to be, I'm a very, very particular, even though I like a good drink every now and then. Okay. I like to be a little tipsy, but I'm not a drunk. I've only been drunk maybe once, really drunk once in my life. And I was so sick afterwards for days. And I had this taste in my mouth. I figured God was saying, don't you ever try it again. Oh, it was terrible. And I was in college, okay? And it was like a lesson learned, okay? It was embarrassing. It was all the things that you can might I thought it was. And plus I got a boy my first interracial relationship, like serious interracial relationship, came from me being drunk. No, it was serious. I was it was the white guy on campus that all the white listen, he blonde white guy, all the white girls used to love him, even the black girls liked him. He was gorgeous, gorgeous guy, beautiful, handsome guy. He roommate with he was a roommate. He roommate with all the happened to be in a room where all the like black guys shared a suite. They used to call them sheet suites. Or this college I went to my freshman year years ago, and so I'm totally like, I'm at this party. He comes in the door and I see him. I say something to him. I don't know what the fuck I said. My friends was laughing and everything, and I was like, "Oh, you're cute. You are cute," or something like that. I said something to him, but I'm so like I don't really pay. I'm not really paying attention. But I have such good like friends and guy friends who love me and took care of me. Like what the fuck? Like one of my guy friends is like, "What the fuck is she be drinking?" who was over this party, and he, his fraternity and stuff like that. And he said, take her the fuck home. I don't want her in no trouble, blah, blah, blah. And my other uh, play brothers was like, yeah, make sure she all right and everything like that. Listen, I got blessed really that night. And so I really not paying attention. And my friends were all tore up. They're all laughing and like, but they handle their liquor well. I'm not handling because that's my first time drunk. So it's not a good thing. So I'm home and I'm already dealing with this other guy I'm dating, and he's mad at me for being drunk. He's like, what the fuck is how you get out here? Blah, blah, blah. And I remember just arguing with him at the door of my dorm and just sliding down the door. And sitting outside saying, shut up. And my friends were all laughing and stuff like that. They're like, they think it's funny. It's not funny. They're drunk. Everybody's drunk. Everybody's messed up. I mean, it is crazy. I had just so much crazy stuff that night. Like I told this white girl, her ex-boyfriend, her new boyfriend, which was my ex-boyfriend, was trying to date. She was crying in the bathroom over this dude. I was so drunk. My friend laughed and said, you told her, like, girl, don't pay no attention to him. He calls me almost every day asking to come home. I didn't realize I did it. My friends go out, oh my God, you were just where we was having a ball. We was like, she is crazy. Whatever. I'm like, oh my God. And I heard her, but I really hurt. And the next day, I talked to her. She was like, oh no, thank you for telling me. And she started crying. I was like, oh my God. Which it was true. I wasn't lying. The dude, he really did. I mean, he was kind of my first like boyfriend I felt that could have been a 10 stalkerish. I was dating. He was one of the guys I was dating, and he just wouldn't let go. It was just that year I was having a ball, my freshman year of college. So I was dating. And so I'm having this experience, this drunk experience. I messed up. I finally get in my doors. My friends are laughing, like, they make sure I'm safe in the dorm and everything. And my play brother's calling me, get your ass bed, and all this. So I'm like, okay. I wake up the next morning, like headache, my mouth. I couldn't brush my teeth enough. I tell you, for 3 to 4 days, that taste stayed in my mouth. It's like God was saying, nope, not for you. You're not going to do it. And the strange thing goes, so I'm doing my homework. I'm sick that day. I'm doing my homework. Me and my roommate. My roommate just happens to be there because a lot of times she stays with her boyfriend. So I really kind of like had to sweep to myself, but she happened to be there that day. We hear a knock on the suite door. And she opens the door. She's like, what? And he's like, is Keisha here? And I'm like, who the fuck is that? And then she's like, that white guy, Chris, and all the white girls we share dorms with this one side of white girls. And my girlfriend, one of my girlfriends is outside, and on the other side is a couple of my girlfriends. It's just like four suites, and people too. It's usually 2 people in each suite, 2 people in each room. So my girlfriend, and then we have a living room. That's how the thing was set up. So he came into the living room, knocked on the door, whatever. And so my girlfriend is laughing in the chair as I'm coming to the door, and she's laughing so hard because the white girls are just stunned. I don't know why they're stunned, but I'm like looking at this white guy at my door, and I'm like, yeah, do I know you? I mean, I knew who he was, but I hadn't realized what I said to him. He's like, oh, last night we talked, and I was like, oh, I said, I'm so sorry. I just don't remember. And we became cool, and we ended up dating. It was an interesting experience. My grandfather was cussing. I gotta tell the truth. My grandfather was like, hell. It was an interesting experience. It did not last very long. He was a great guy. It just wasn't. He just wasn't for me. I like black men. I know we his black women. We limit ourselves. I like all kinds of men, but I really love black. I'm really into. I'm a. I can't, it's not that I wouldn't, if I was single, wouldn't marry, I mean, or date a white guy, but it's just, that's my thing. uh, yeah, I just, maybe it's because that's where I'm more comfortable culturally, my culture. And it's not because I wouldn't go outside of it. I did. It was a fun relationship. It was cool. It was fun. A lot of my friends, some of my friends hated it. Some of my friends liked it or whatever, but it was a very interesting relationship. And it started because I was drinking. And so that was, already a red flag. Okay. But yeah, but it was my friends out there laughing. Here's the funny part about this story. One of my good girlfriends is out there laughing because the girls came out. She's talking about the white girls came out the dorm thinking he was coming because he was really popular. Like a lot of the white women liked him. So he was really popular. They thought he was coming for them. And my friend was laughing because she was like, hey, he's not coming for you. He's coming for her. And I felt so bad because these girls had a crush on me. I was like, oh my God. I'm like, and it was different because when you are dating, this is when I learned about culture and class and the difference about culturally, how people are accepted and things like that, how people move and stuff like that. Um, when you are dating a white guy who is wanted by his community, you get a lot of darts thrown at your ass. But that's what I learned. And it was funny. And you get a lot of darts thrown. and I thrown it by at that time it was in the 90s. Black men were just like, I showed up at one of these events with him, one of those like power to the people. Like it was something on campus we were having during that time. It was like a black protest or something like that. Man, did I hear it. And I could understand. I wasn't angry about from hearing it. But here was the funny part is because he was he liked he hung with a lot of black people. So it was, which a lot of his white friends and stuff didn't know, because I think he had like two separate worlds he was trying to on one side he was a Travis Kelce, on the other side he was the Travis Kelce with Taylor Swift. So that's how, and I learned that. I really saw that very early on, and that split, and I understood. I heard Tashina Arnold say this week. She was talking about her dating a white guy back in the Martin days or whatever, from 90210, and she said she realized that he was never gonna be nothing serious. That's what I mean. I knew that. And I knew that I was having all kind of reactions that were really interesting. It wasn't that I can't withstand no reactions. If I care about somebody, I can withstand whatever the fuck you doing. If I got my mind made up, I got my mind. But it was just, I saw the behavior in him. So I was like, yeah, no, this is not gonna cut it. So I understood what Tashina Arnold was saying. And I learned a lot about class, race, dynamics, and it's just not it's not just a thing of falling for somebody from another race. There's so many dynamics that go with all of that. Okay, so that's just my experience. But I had to tell y'all that. So we get into that because I'm just having to be talking about what was I talking about? Y'all know how I be doing. I be just talking. Okay, because we was talking about I saying I don't drink a lot. So that's my sideboard to a sideboard to a sideboard. Okay. Yeah. So I'm not a big drinker. So so on this cruise, I'm like, I'm excited. I'm excited about it. So, because my friend was telling me, oh, don't, are you going to be drinking? I was like, I'm not a big drink. She said, you right. You never do drink. So I'm excited to go on it. But I tend to be very shy, except for if I drink too much, and then I'm not shy. But other than that, I'm very, hi, until you get to know me. And then now when you get to know me now, that's a different story. So, that 11th house Gemini comes out. I can keep you going with subjects. I can what you want? What you want? What you want to talk about? You know what I'm saying? So, but I have to get to know you. And I'm trying to be more friendly in my, this new phase of my time. Like, I feel like that's what the little whole Maxwell experience is for me too. I'm meeting so many people. It opens me up to knowing different people and stuff like that. So I'm excited about this cruise. Okay, and all the great people I will meet. Okay, but I had to tell y'all about my little weird meet and greets. They're funny. I'm not doing a meet and greet this time. I told y'all last week. Well, that I know of. It might, maybe, who knows? You never know what happens. But yeah, it's not enough. I don't think the official one. Listen, let me tell you, this cruise is high. It is. Oh shit. No, we gotta be honest. I'm like, I'm giving out. I got outfits to buy, clothes, all these things. You know what I'm saying? I spent a lot of money, and then I haven't even got my. Well, I got my hair done. Like I got my hair washed and cut. My trimmed because I'm getting ready for braids next week. Yeah, I'm getting the. I think I'm doing boho braids. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like so, I'm like trying. This is. I'm like, oh, it's so expensive. It's the get the going to. So I'm trying to document my experience for you guys, so I could tell you what this cruise is like and will I do it again. Okay. Now, what I've told you, what I've heard from the past people is that the cruise is a vibe. Everything is really good. Everything is awesome. But Maxwell seems like non-present except for his shows. Now, if I see that this year on my cruise, I will tell you. You know how I'm honest as fuck. I'll be like, listen here, that motherfucker, this was a great cruise. It was a great ass time. Now, I see that motherfucker. That motherfucker didn't come welcome us. I will talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like the more now being in this cruise thing, and this is, don't please get mad at me, people. Do not write me. Do not be sending me darts, subtweets. Here's what I say. People in the past, that was their people. I talked to a lot of people about the cruise and heard a lot of reviews, about 3 reviews from people, and they all have said the same thing, the non-presence. And I think here's my thing, okay? And as I'm going on this experience, because I got a lot of shit I could be doing. I got school going on. I got a whole bunch of shit going on. I got, as a matter of fact, I got my theater guild. I got stuff to do at my theater guild coming up. All kind of bullshit. Okay, so to when I go on this cruise for Max, this is the week of the Super. I'm a football girl, an NFL girl. So even though my team ain't in it, I'm still an NFL. You know what I'm saying? We have Super Bowl parties, me and my family, stuff like that. So it's so this is a labor of love when I go to see Max on this, because I love me some Maxwell. Okay, I was even saying I was gonna I might do me a, like, on team day, because they have a sports team day. I said I'm not gonna even rep my team. I might rep Max. I might give me a jersey with Maxwell because I need to be showing I'm a sugar mama. But I'm a big Max fan. So this is a labor of love for me to go on this cruise. Yes, for myself, great, because I get to experience a lot of great things. But it's a labor of love because I'm a big Max. If Maxwell wasn't over this cruise, I probably would not go. Okay. So to me, that experience, having that experience and being that big of a admirer of the work he does and the music he does, I expect him to respect that of all his fan base. that these are labors of love. Like we could be any fucking where else on our Valentine's Day weekend. Please, motherfucker, respect that we decided to spend money and shit on your ass. So if I don't feel like that's there, I will tell you, and that's important for me because what I mean by they were talking about. I was talking to people about because I asked them. I said, "What do you mean?" They're like, when they have the ship take off or something like that, they didn't even really see him. That's fucked up. I think that is because I think that you should, even if you show up on a fucking video screen and say, "Hey, everybody," you know what I'm saying? You should be your presence should be overwhelming around where people don't know if you're going to see you or not. You know, like in a good way. Like, oh, they just saw Max upstairs, or Max was at this, or you know what I'm saying? You should be a presence at your, like, if there's those nights, Caribbean nights, if there's karaoke nights or whatever. This was people telling me, you should be there. Your presence should be, this is your cruise. This is, you decide to host that. And so I've heard that his presence isn't strong, particularly last year. Okay. And year before. So for me, that's important. So I will let y'all know if I think it's worth it. I will let y'all know if his ass ain't been running around. If you don't see much of him, or you don't feel the energy of him, because to me that's very important. If you're hosting something, it's like when I host a party. You know the fuck, you can't be hosting a party and then go hide up in your room and shit. You know what the fuck? You the host, motherfucker. Where you need to be out. That's important. So yeah, and because it's so expensive, like it's no for the average. I understand why the average person might be like, "Ooh." I mean, it's you getting great acts, okay? Yes, okay. I'm excited. Kim, Ellie Varner, and I love me some Ellie Varner, okay? And well, you got Tweed and you got Norton, BJ Norton, or what's it? I don't know. You got a lot of people. I mean, he's got a great Isley Brothers, everything. It seems awesome, but it's very expensive. You're not only paying for your trip to, the cruise is expensive itself, but you got to fly to Miami. You got to pick a hotel to stay in the night before. And for me, or if you keep flying back in and you're not leaving the day, well, you know what I'm saying? It's expensive. And it should be memorable when people spend that much money on coming to your, I used to always love when I would go to church events and that one of the great pastors in recognizing this, great Bishop Jakes, used to do such an awesome thing, because what people don't understand is, like, especially when we used to do stuff like, they do Woman That Are Loose or Azusa and different things like that. People didn't realize what people had done to get there. They like, Bishop would always be like, "Hey, you done did this. You came here. You done scratched your cloud your way." You don't know what people did to make sure they had that cruise or that energy, and the fact that they decide to spend it with you, spend it on you, spend it in your presence, or spend it with you, with your brand, your name on it. I always say people should give them that experience. It should be your experience. It should not be like something fucking you threw together and you just, And I always love that about the Christian, and knowing some places for rock and roll and different stuff like that, but the Christian thing, they always took account that people did a lot to get there. It'd be people, like, I used to hear so many stories when I used to be going to Azusa, what I would take for granted, because I lived in Tulsa at the time. When I first started going to Azusa, I didn't live in Tulsa at the time, but I would go, and so I understood the struggle of traveling to Azusa, the registration, in line, going to conferences and the church thing. So I understood that volume of that. But I also, when I got to living there, it was much more easier, and I took it for granted. And I was going to Oral Roberts, right? So, but I always used to be amazed at what people did to get to there, to just get away or to hear the word of God or to get blessed or to get something. Now, this isn't that, okay? This is definitely a cruise or party cruise or whatever, but it's people still spending their moments and their time and their energy flying, doing all kinds of driving, everything to get to you. So I don't know if anybody ever hears this that knows Maxwell or whatever, but motherfucker, be on that, be present on that fucking cruise. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. Be present, and not not just because it's my first year, but because this is what I hear people saying. I hear people say that your presence was it was a vibe, it was a great cruise and everything, but your presence needs to be more there, and that is an appreciate to me. That's just showing appreciation. Like, yeah, like you're on the cruise, like motherfucker, this ain't no fake ass. Like you ain't got me up on the cruise, and your ass is gonna fly into the cruise about 3 days later. No, I'm just kidding. No, well, no, just just a fact of appreciating that these people have had a journey to get to your cruise. Everybody ain't got money like that. Shit, the motherfuckers like that. Everybody ain't got no money, $5,000, $6,000 for a cruise. So it is very, it's a very, very beautiful thing when you recognize that. I think when people recognize that, then you're a lot more grateful and you understand that it's just like when I'm always grateful when people show up at something for me. I'm like, because I know how hard it is to show up. I know how hard it is for me to show up at certain things. So when people show up, I try to show you a good time. Like when my girlfriends, when I go like Christmas time, when me and my girlfriends get together, we don't hardly get together. But when we do get together, like, I make sure because when I get with and it's different sections of girlfriends I have, but when I get with certain girls, I try to always make them laugh, try to do something, try to bring something to them, some gifts or something that I put together or something like that, like to say, I appreciate you. I love your presence in my life. Even when I have my birthday, when I have birthday parties and stuff like that, I try to go. God bless. When I be trying to go out on the food, I be like, because it really isn't about my birthday. It really is. I try to have a moment with my family and friends. Like the last birthday party I had, my 50th. I had they know I love me some pole dancing. I think I was a stripper in another life. Right, but actually my mother was that's my mother that was my mother used to do that for a living, but so yeah, but the and people know that, so it's not that secret. But listen, I try to always be like, thank y'all for showing up. Cause I know how hard it is to get here. You know what I'm saying? I know how hard it is to take time out. That shows me love. Like I got so many great girlfriends that I hardly ever see. Like, but I really cherish. I have this one girlfriend who I met through one of my best girlfriends. I haven't talked to this girlfriend in a while, but she's out, even though we be distant, she's always in my heart. And I had been good friends with her since kindergarten. And I met her cousin through her. And listen, it's this young lady, her name's April. We don't get together that much, but when we do, oh my God, I'm so blessed by her presence because she always makes time for me. She always makes time and shows up and shows out for my stuff and have a good time. I mean, it is never, it's always so appreciated. I always appreciate that love from her or something like that. So even when I started doing little modeling things, I called her up because she was already doing it. And I said, hey, how do I get into this? And she helped me. It's just, what I'm saying with certain things, even though I haven't gotten to it all the way, but I got into it somewhat. So I always appreciate good friends. So I always try to do when I have those people in my presence, when I get a chance to be around people I love, I try to show them that, hey, this is not just my party, this is my gift for you. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for even my little sisters. When my little sisters show up, my last birthday party, my little sisters was there. We had just had a ball, and all my besties showed up except for one. But it was such great fun. My cousin, My cousin, who is deeply spirit religious, showed up and she had a great time. But when I appreciate that, I always love that. And I always say I appreciate, because I understand your journey here was not easy. It was not, it was not easy to take time, a few hours from your family, or a few hours from your man, or a few hours from the kids, or whatever it is, work or whatever. Thank you. Okay. So I hope that, I know I'm just a little something. I ain't no celebrity or nothing like that. But I hope that celebrities like Maxwell understand that when people show up at your cruise, there a lot of girls. Listen, I know a lot of the Maxwell girls. They going coming for your ass, strictly so you can see that. See what I'm saying? Ain't got nothing new out since 2000. What is it? When's the last album? 2015, 2016. Pretty Wings. Take your, what's it? See, Pretty Wings over. Pretty Wings. It's so if it's true, we can do a little something, do the same shit. What else is it? Ascension. All the same things. Okay, hold on, you guys. So, hold on, guys. I'm gonna take just a quick break, real quick, and I'll be right back. I got something happening. Hold on, just a second. Be right back. All right, you guys, I am back. Okay, so what I was saying is that I hope that that is not the case for this time when we when I do the cruise, but I will let y'all know. I'm trying to tell y'all, I will, God bless me to make it. Yes, I will let you. That's important, I think. Um, so hopefully there will be that, but that is the complaint I hear constantly about that cruise, the biggest one, and I know a lot of people that's went. So that is the one. So if you some Maxwell people and you happen to hear this show, they love Maxwell, but they was like, okay, like we could see a little bit more of Maxwell. And I understand Maxwell in the past has done 2 shows on that cruise, so he might thought that was enough. I don't think. What I'll say is that probably not. And what probably would have been smart, and just in the future range of things. I know everybody couldn't do this or something, but I'm gonna really be honest about this. Just an idea. Who am I? I don't know. I've never been on a cruise before. I'm just going to tell you my idea from what I've seen. Okay. This idea is free to y'all, free to use. Okay. But I see they have a lot of excursions and stuff like that for like when you're going to the Dominican Republic and you're going to the different things. Listen, here's my truth. I'm going to really say this, Maxwell. You should be having one of those excursions. Should be for specifically with you. And how many get to sign up? They sign up, and that's you get so many, and that's it. But it really should be with you, like a couple of those. One for the Bahamas, one for the wherever you're going next year. The next couple of cruises. That's how you make your presence known, without people saying that you're present but not present. You should be in charge. Like you should be on one of those excursions, doing the excursions with people. You should you should be working. This is a job, motherfuckers. This is, you know what I'm saying? Because people really are spending. And so that way people know, oh, I didn't get on the Max excursion. Max had an excursion for everybody to go on with him or whatever. Or he had one also in this city or this place. Like, because I really believe that means that sounds like your cruise. I know what other people do. It's just, other people have had these cruises and they're not intimate about them. But here's my thing: Maxwell has such an intimate group of fans that they notice when he's not present. They notice if he's not there. He doesn't have like the average. I don't consider him having the average fan base. It's very different. So, and they notice little things. So I think that that's important. You have to make that. You have to be more intimate in those that cruise setting. Maybe you don't do it this year, but maybe you do it in another year or so. You guys think about that. You should be at the welcome part, the cruise when the cruise launches out, even if it's just a fucking video. You should be there welcoming people because people work hard to do that cruise. Okay. All right. So that's my biggest complaint I heard. Okay. But on to the next thing. Okay, you guys, I have a topic for today. And the topic I wanted to talk about was I heard Jill Scott say something. And it kind of got to me because, and not to say I used to think the same way too. But I don't think I love. First of all, let me just say this: Jill Scott has had awesome interviews the last couple of weeks. She's done such wonderful interviews, and what I love about Jill Scott, there's two women I've seen that have been in their power in these interviews that people haven't been noticing. Lady London, which I'm talking about, Lady London when she interviewed with Cam Newton. I mean, oh my God, just a powerhouse. Okay. And then Jill Scott. Jill has been dropping gems and everything in her interviews. Just very powerful interviews. Okay. But I did hear Jill Scott say something. She had an interview with Angie Martinez, and it was something she said. She was talking about her and Erykah Badu, and I'm gonna try to pull that up. I can, you guys. Okay, and this is what I put down on my post. Okay, let me see. So for you guys to see, if you guys, I could try to bring it up. Okay, so Jill Scott is talking about on her moment of singing with Erykah Badu and Dave Chappelle's event. And I put there's something I wanted to address on this very good interview. Uh I meant to say it was one sentence. It's one sentence, but I think we need to talk about it. I really consider traditional Black Americans as American with some African ancestry. We'll discuss next podcast what I said. So Jill said something that is very interesting here. Okay, so I'm gonna let you. And I also saw Yvette Cornell having a discussion with someone about this week. So interview up so you guys can hear it and hear what I'm talking about. And it's the topic of the day. Should we as Black Americans be considered American or African? What are we? You know what I'm saying? So I think I have the answer for that, and I'm going to tell you why. But here is the interview I saw that I thought was very interesting. So let me pull it up for you guys. Okay, hopefully you guys can see that. All right. All right, so let me play a little bit with this. So, okay.
Well, how do you reflect on that era and that time? It was such a magical, I don't know, moment. Just seeing all of you guys together and that epic, legendary you and Erykah moment. That was like a rap battle on stage with voices. And I don't know, how do you reflect on that time and that moment?
Oh man, it definitely wasn't a rap battle.
It felt like a rap battle.
You think?
For me watching it, yes.
Oh no.
Because it was respectful, but it felt like, I know you said, I think I've heard you say that it wasn't
not for
way.
me.
Yeah.
I don't think it was that way for Erykah, but she is kind of like, she's a thugger. So yeah. But that wasn't where I was coming from. I didn't even know she was there.
Yeah.
And then I heard her voice, and then I like when I watch it now, I hear where we clicked and we started this swim together. And I said, oh man, what is happening sonically here? All of a sudden we were magical. We were Orisha. We were women. We were women of African descent in this space. And when I even now when I watch it, I think it's powerful. Like I left myself and I loved it. Anytime I can leave myself, I think it's just fantastic. That was a busy day. It was a lot of people. It was a lot of questions. It was a lot of traffic. There was, I tend to get still before I perform anywhere for anything. And there was nowhere to go.
Okay, it's a couple of things that she said in this interview. And listen, celebrities are always, and I'm sure if anybody who gets high up on a certain level, sometimes you won't be aware of the movements that are going on underneath you, or the new trains of thoughts and the new things that are coming. And what I heard uh, uh, her say is, she talked about the singing between her and Erica Badu. She said, suddenly we were Orisha, we were women of African descent. And I'm like, do you get that? Here's what, let me just say this, okay? I think what's happened, and you know, you had this movement in the 90s, you know, power to the people. Black people, I'm trying to figure out how to say this. Black Americans have defined this idea, and I say particularly us because we were the main people pushing a Pan-African agenda. Because you know, when you go back to Marcus Garvey, he was one of the first people who had that Pan-Africans. He started that movement, even though he's of a different, I think he was Marcus Garvey, of Jamaican descent. He started that movement among Black Americans. And what happened about Black Americans is there became this idealism of what Africa was. And so what happens you get in the 80s and 90s, you start seeing a lot of this, these our creation of Africa. I mean, like, we're wearing dashikis that we don't really understand, that are sometimes don't even mean anything. We don't have a concept, and most Black Americans, not all, but we didn't at those times have a concept of what Africa was. It's not a country; it's a continent with 58 countries, vastly different cultures. And we did not see it. We were creating some idealized version. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you this. I feel who heavily influenced Black Panther and the Wakanda idea is Black Americans, because we had a Wakanda idea of Africa. We're thinking about, and what we're doing is we're idolizing a past that we have been very disconnected from. And we are not recognizing the betrayal that other African groups played in the slave trade, who are very wealthy off the slave trade now. Some today are very wealthy, have built their wealth comes from the slave trade. Yeah, there's an article in like a few years ago that was in the New Yorker, I think. Um, um, my Nigerian grandfather was an African slave trader or something like that, and the wealth, about how the wealth comes down and stuff like that. Listen, so Black Americans not understand, because we were under such harsh stuff in America. Even though America's our home for over 500 years, it's the thing we know. There is still this harshness because of our history in America, right? And so there's this people trying to look to something and idealize something. And what we did is made a huge idealism of Africa, and we unburdened Africa of its betrayal when we should not have done that. Jill, I would say you don't get that sound that you and Erica, even though you guys think you're dressing Africanish and everything, because you know we got the neo soul movement that kind of comes with this, the little sense, a little thing, tinge of Pan-African vibes, but that's not really from uh, 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 Africans. Africans tend to not. They tend to back in those days. I don't think Black Americans understand the influence they've had over the world, and their journey in America has influenced the world. Your journey in America and your perception of Africanism is Americanism. That sound that you're having, listen to African music in the 1800s and 1700s versus Black spiritual. You will understand we're very different. Your experience in America has a Black American created that sound. You don't get that sound if you don't get the slave trade and you don't get the harshness of America. You don't get it. Sometimes, here's what I'll say. There's a great scripture in the Bible that says the stone that the builder rejected has become the cornerstone. That's good. That's tight. The stone that the builder rejected has become the cornerstone. The stone that Africa sent out, one of the stones that it rejected and that it participated in the slave trade and trading its own, traded it to a superpower, and it became the cornerstone. Under harshness, the harshness of this of slavery, Jim Crow, discrimination, failed Reconstruction, you name. We are a people. You get that sound not from Africa. Has a little to do with it because your ancestry here, but you become something different when your people land on this. Listen, here's what happens. Your people get cut off. Now, can you imagine what happens to a people? You got people who come to a land and they've been kidnapped. They know nothing about. And at some point, within that first 10 to 15 years of slavery, that first 20 to 25 years of slavery, you get a people who realize maybe we will never see that place again. That our home is no longer our home. And you are starting to establish a language and a culture in a place where you have become a prisoner, a victim. You become kidnapped, enslaved, and you have to realize that you are becoming something different. Your situation will change the outcome of who you are in future generations for many years to come. One of the bad things I think we as Black Americans do, and I'm really starting to realize it now. I said, God, I didn't realize the spiritual complexity of our rejecting our journey in America. And Jill Scott is a person. She made a beautiful song, which I love. Jill Scott made a beautiful song about America, a beautiful thing about the torture between being Black American and American. A beautiful, oh, say, can you see, or something like. Oh my God, it's such a beautiful torn thing. But I also, and it's a very powerful song. But I also think that we have to appreciate the journey as Black Americans. Being a woman of Black American descent, because you don't get that from Africa, baby. That soul music, spiritual comes from if the Negro's not out in the fields holding on to something in America under the harshness of not only just slavery, it wasn't just slavery. I don't think people understand what happened in the Americas. And I don't think Black Americans kind of get that the difference between you and the rest of the diaspora, what happened, even though you were in a superpower, the way you experienced slavery was very different. Here's the introduction to race. You're 3/5 human. You're being called niggas. You're being called this and that. You're being told every day you're less than. You're being raped to breed. You're being, the men are being broken, also raped at times. All kinds of things are happening in this new world. Your slavery, even though there are other ports that have had slavery, yours is chattel slavery, and it's literally one of the harshest forms of slavery, if not the harshest. And then you're dealing with the mental language of hearing that you're not a human, you're property, and then going through the seasons of trying to find freedom, trying to get away, the seasons of the Underground Railroad, and escaping to the north, and trying to find a new life, and being freedmen in a country that has literally rejected you, that you built. But that's where you get all that from. You don't get it from Africa. Africa, you don't get that. You get that from your experience in the Americas. You get that this is a Black American experience. It is not an African experience. And I think because we've been treated so crazy in the Americas, it's sometimes hard for us to accept that we are Americans. And we're very much woven into the history. Listen, I heard this week Tucker Carlson, and let me see if I can find it. Tucker Carlson talking about FBA. It was very interesting. Hold on. And it isn't, and it isn't, it isn't because we are, because I like Tucker Carlson. And so some things I like Tucker Carlson says, some things I don't. But Tucker Carlson talked about, and a lot of people, liberals and people who are Democratic, they love the Democrats too much, will try to be like, well, that's the point. No, the point is Tucker recognized something very powerful here without saying it. Sometimes people who you perceive as your enemies will recognize some stuff about you, okay? But let me see. And they will speak to you, speak prophetically over you. But let me see. But it's something, and the reason why I say it's important, that it's not that he's saying FBA. It's not that you got, see, Black people, you get too extreme. It's like, it's that Tucker Carlson is a mainstream conservative, and he's not even, Tucker is a little bit of a mix, because if you remember the days of Tucker on MSNBC, okay? Tucker is a mainstream guy out here who's mentioning a movement that's happening, whether you like FBA, ADOS, or something. It still gets everybody the attention you need, whether y'all motherfuckers get along or not. It's crazy that y'all arguing. I don't know what the deal is. I mean, it's kind of crazy. I wouldn't even argue my point. I'd just be like, oh, that's good. I disagree with, I don't know why people can't say, I just disagree with brother Tyreek, or Tyreek, I disagree with it. Yeah, and just leave it at that. But mostly the message is getting out here. That message reflects back to other messages and stuff, to to help out. But otherwise, you don't get to hear those about these movements, these grassroots movements and things like that. So Black people, you get to worry about, okay, well now here's a problem because Tucker Carlson recognized it. No, it's not a problem. Because sometimes your enemy speaks into your life, or what you perceive as your enemy. I be trying to tell y'all, what y'all perceiving as your enemies out here is actually y'all friends, whether they racist or not. Sometimes your friend, it was a racist allegedly who signed a bill for the, well, no, he ain't an alleged racist. Lyndon B. Johnson was known racist, and who signed the bill for the civil rights movement. It was not Kennedy, who was considered a friend. But let me see if we can play a little bit of this. Huh. Let's see. And listen, this isn't the first time that racists have co-signed. Let me explain something to y'all. I don't know if y'all remember um uh what you I don't know if y'all remember uh um uh the uh the 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 story it was something very powerful that only Aaron Magruder could come up with. But when he was doing the Boondocks, and there's a part when Barack Obama's running for president, and Huey is just understanding what this is, that for Black America, this is going to not be good because you're going to just be happy there's a Black president and you're not going to hold him accountable. Huey's understanding the bigger picture. But also at the same time, Huey's now sitting next to Uncle Ruckus, who hates Obama for many other reasons, but they're both about to ride together because they see this situation like, ugh. I mean, often I often sometimes uh black 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 American powerful visionaries like Malcolm X will not be so far off from white nationalists. Oh my God, I'm about to scare people right now. They'll have a lot of things in which they agree on, but won't agree on the ideas surrounded about race and equality and things like that. But when you look at Malcolm X believed in carrying, Malcolm X believed in gun ownership. Malcolm X was very conservative in certain ideas and thoughts. But also at the time, I think trying to be a Pan Africanist at that time. But there's not, it's a thin line between love and hate. Some of y'all get it and some of y'all won't. Some of you will be above your head. There is I forget it was one of the activists that worked with that even with Dr. King. Let me tell you this. When Dr. King put together the Poor People's Campaign, it was a lot of people who came under Dr. King in that campaign who did not typically like Dr. King, who had who were racist, but they appreciated Dr. King's movement for poor people. They appreciate some of the ideology of King, not just all of it. So when you hear people like Tucker Carlson or something like that agree with certain parts of things, it doesn't mean that group is off or that group is wrong. It's just that Tucker Carlson is saying, "Hey, there is something we can agree on," and the black the black, sometimes often the black nationalists or the black this and that, and can say, "Yes, there is something we can agree on." Y'all got to start understanding this stuff. Y'all don't understand it, but let y'all look at this, okay? So let me play this so y'all can hear what happened, okay? And this is from Black American Professor Truth, but y'all can go listen to Professor Truth. I won't play Professor Truth, but I'm just gonna play this part where they talk about FBA, okay? Uh
cheerful. I didn't realize, is he ideological? I've never detected that.
No. That's why I call him a slave.
Yeah. And they called you a racist for that?
They did. Which is actually quite interesting because I got a call from the Foundational Black American Society here in Florida who reminded me that Byron's mother is Jamaican, he is Panamanian, and they found it quite insulting in their words that he would try to claim victimhood of slavery, not a single descendant of American slaves in his family.
I like those foundational guys.
They're so good.
Tariq Nasheed and all. I mean, I don't agree with everything, but like they've got a perspective. If your family's been here 400 years and the descendants of a lot of American slaves or families have been here 400 years, I don't know. I think that gives, I'll listen to you. Like you've
100%.
You've got a point of view that is legitimate, I think.
Yeah. And they're unequivocally heritage Americans.
That's for sure.
100%.
They're definitely heritage Americans, if anyone is. And, someone rolls in from Ghana and gets an MSNBC slot and starts speaking on behalf of Black people. It's like, shut up, honey. You've got nothing to do with this.
Right.
That's
Literally.
a fair perspective, right? I think.
And so it's good to actually see them call them out for that. That's actually cultural appropriation. Appropriating the struggle of slavery.
I totally agree.
And the struggle of slavery was real. I don't think Republicans ever want to really whitewash that. It's real, no. Right? But for
we're
Byron,
against slavery.
We're against it.
Whether it's in the, West Bank or here or anywhere.
Or anywhere.
Yeah, against it.
And so for Byron's group, his team, to call me and essentially our entire supporting base racists for saying that you're a slave when quite literally you took $45 million. You won't tell us what you agreed to take that money this early in a primary, which is unprecedented. You know this, how unprecedented that kind of money is in an uncontested primary until now. But secondarily, to actually go out and try to gaslight us and think that you're just one of those guys that has been here, since the early 1800s and your family was in the struggle too. You're not. And that's a very interesting term that the Foundational Black Americans use. It's called tether. They're tethering these tethers like Byron Donalds. They come here literally one generation in, and they try to just sit around and act so folksy that we're all part of the same struggle and we're all down on and we need to fight against. No, you just got here, dude. Like the Haitians, like the guys from Ghana who just got here, you don't get to just be a part of our system and then lecture us about how our country went wrong.
All right, let's go ahead and
Okay, and listen, I'm going to say this. I love people from every group, every culture. Just because I am against people tethering off of Black people, Black Americans experiencing the Americas, it's our ancestors and what our ancestors went through and what we've gone through in America. I don't think nobody should be coming cosplaying that. I don't like that. So I don't care who you are to get benefits or to get people like you and all that. I don't like that. But I love people from all over the world. I love Black people everywhere. I love people, period. But I love my people. It'd be all over in any part of the world. And I love you culturally for who you are. But there is this thing of everybody liking to tether off of our ancestry and our background. And we have a very real culture. That's why I say when I go back to Jill Scott and talking about African ancestry, I'm like, no, girl, that didn't come from Africa. That sound that you was hearing, that sound when you and her are singing that, was it? If you were wondering about who, I forgot the song. If you were worried about them. I can't even remember the words. I can't even remember the beat. But if that did not come, that comes from the black the Africans beginning experience in America, the Black American, and it becomes the Black American experience. We're not no longer Africans. That is a Black American experience. That sound comes from the Black American experience. That the our lifestyles, how we dress, who we are, that comes from our experience and our ancestors' experience in America. We are not, I do not want to give that to Africa. Sorry, Africa. I don't. I think you get undue praise. And I think you don't get enough of you, how much you betrayed us. But it's a good thing because the stone that the builder rejected has become the cornerstone. And Black people, I think that sometimes we ignore the beautiful gift that our ancestors gave us in America. They were cut off from their land and established themselves. Went through slavery, went through and the great cost that they paid to survive it and for us to be who we are today. How dare we give that off to Africa? Fuck, hell no. Sorry, I'm sorry. Nope, not giving it out to Africa. And no matter how the mistreatment and harshness that the mistreatment is, and the American politics tries to play in our faces as Black people, one thing I know for sure, that our blood is in the soil, that we built this thing. And we are the true. When he says we are heritage Americans, he said that, and Tucker said, I don't know, probably more than anybody. You right. And I love, shout out to Yvette Cornell. And even though I disagree with her and to try Tyreek argument, I don't think see the point. But you just got two different methods of going about things. But when she wrapped herself in that American flag, I'm like, baby, yes. Because our ancestors, their blood is in the soil, and how dare we reject what our ancestors, some of them died, stayed a life of, didn't have a life of freedom so that you could survive and be able to live here and thrive in the country they built, despite the rejection, despite the mess. Even in America, with America's rejection, check this out. The what is it? The stone that the builders rejected, even to America, has become the cornerstone. Oh, nobody has had more influence in culture in America, in the American experience, than Black Americans. The stone that the builders rejected has become the cornerstone. But nobody all over the world. You have Europeans in Europe and England talking about that how Black Americans influenced them musically, fashion wise. You got Africans talking about how we influence them. No, the stone that the builders rejected has become the cornerstone, baby, and we ain't gonna give that to nobody. We are Black Americans through and through, and it's our experience. You know, I ain't no African. I respect. We got African ancestry, but we also have European ancestry. A lot of us have Native American ancestry. We got a lot of ancestry. And that makes us that's why we call ourselves either foundational Black Americans, ADOS, American descendants of slaves, whatever you choose. But we are descendants of those people who survived betrayal from Africa and survived abuse from America. No way I'm going to give that experience to the betrayer. And it's not that I don't respect Africa, and I want to someday love to come visit, love to see Africa and stuff like that, because I love people all over the world, but I understand what our history is. And I ain't giving you no Wakanda experience. That's not Wakanda. There's no such thing. and we tend to Wakanda Africa. Black Americans have done that, and all the other. What happens is a lot of people in the diaspora, because we were on TV and we in the 70s, we trying to connect back to our African, what we've perceived as Africa. We be dressing like, with certain things and stuff like that on the shows, and they put us like certain things, during the Black exploitations and stuff like that. And so people around the world saw those images and stuff like that, and even in the diaspora, and they took that energy as, hey, this is how we're supposed to be, Pan-Africanist and all that stuff. But now, y'all, I'm gonna hate to apologize to all y'all in the diaspora. The truth is, if you survive Jamaican, it's your beautiful Jamaican experience. It's in spite of Africa and its betrayal. The beautiful reggae music and everything like that you were influenced by comes from the result of you being Jamaican. And you said, and as like Bob Marley said, some of Black American influence because of spiritual, but it's a diaspora experience. It is not an African experience. Haiti becoming the first Black republic. That is your experience on the island of Haiti. That ain't, yes, maybe you have some ancestral things, but it's your experience that made you strong and made you be able to become the first Black republic. It ain't. It's not Africa. And I'm sorry that we gave y'all, that Black Americans gave you this idealized Wakanda version of Africa. It ain't true. Okay. One, I need to look no further. You can go over there. Matter of fact, you don't even got to go there. You can just look online. Go online right now. And you can look at these countries and everything in Africa. And there's some beautiful countries, I'm sure, over in Africa, beautiful experience and stuff like that. But you can see that we are mostly different. All humans have some sort of commonality, right? But we are vastly different culturally. And where we are alike, it's a lot of times them, because they've seen us on TV. So a lot of times the Black American influence has been so huge that it's even influenced the continent of Africa. So baby, don't deny your blessing in America. That even though America tried to take you down, tried to take you out, listen, let me say what the enemy meant for bad, God meant for good. And I think that we as Black Americans understood that more. If we embraced our Americanism and our journey in America and kept looking back to some Wakanda, then we would move so much differently in America. You couldn't give baby rejection. You could reject us all day. It wouldn't bother us. Because we understand what we made of. America made us understand what we were made of and who our ancestors were made of. And our ancestors were rejected by the continent of Africa. They were rejected. Our ancestors were sent out here. They was traded. So we're something different. And they were something different. I guarantee you go back there and see that them bloodlines that have been rejected from Africa. They was rejecting. There was a reason. Those tribal, they were sending them out, kidnapping them and participating with the Europeans. So no, I'm not going to give you my empowerment and my giftings from my ancestors' journey in America. Why would I give that to you? One of my favorite stories in the Bible is when the children of Israel are leaving out of Egypt, and when they come into the promised land, and they tell them, they say, hey, put rocks in this, I guess in the water. I forget how the story goes, but they tell them to put rocks because it's a point of remembrance. Remembering all that you've been through. and where you're going. Don't ever forget where you've been, what you've been through. We got to quit idealizing Africa. Sorry, Dr. Umar, I don't idealize Africa. I'm not a Pan-Africanist. I embrace, I love people all over the world, but I embrace my Americanism. I embrace my ancestors who survived America and who built America. We are heritage Americans. Celebrities, when you singing soul music, rock music, hey, blues don't come if you didn't have the harshness of the South. Oh, blues don't come. Negro spirituals don't come if you don't have the harshness of the field slave, what the field slave goes through. Gospel music doesn't come without the segregation and Jim Crow. Black water fountains. You don't get those music without a people going through that. You don't get rock and roll without people learning how to entertain and groove and have a good time in spite of what they going through. No, you don't get that. Any other group that's singing that, you got to pay homage to the beautiful Black American souls that survived to be able to, that are our ancestors, the giftings they gave us. And if you've been invited to the rock and roll, including Europeans, rock and roll, country, all the stuff that we done created, you ought to pay homage to the Black American icons who did it, who God gifted to do it. It ain't no Black thing. It's a Black American thing. And it's insulting when other people try to do that. That is a new form of globalism that is happening. They're trying to globalize all Black people. But baby, my experience is not the same. And it's me shutting down my ancestors and everything to just be like some hodgepodge or something. What? No, we have an American experience. We are Black Americans. Our experience have been in the Americas. Now, maybe you can identify, you can appreciate, you can be an ally with that, but you ain't that. Okay, I don't like nobody cosplaying that. That is disrespectful. I wouldn't come over to Haiti and cosplay a Haitian. I wouldn't come over to Jamaica and cosplay a Jamaican. I wouldn't go to Nigeria and try to cosplay a Nigerian. Okay. So I say that with all due respect. I love me some Jill Scott. I love me some Jill Scott. As a matter of fact, years ago, when I first started doing this show, Jill Scott was supposed to come on this show, but we just lost touch. I talked to Jill Scott, I remember online. She's like, what time? When do you want me to come on? And at the time, we never could get it together. Our time, she was such a sweetheart. Let me just say that. She was so sweet. We just couldn't get, and she had said that was years ago. And it was my fault that she didn't get on because we just never really set the time for her and everything. But she was really, and she said it to me twice too. but just, yeah. So, but it's not a disrespect to her, but it is I want us to stop feeling like we owe something to Africa. No, we don't. That comes from our ancestors. Africa, yes, it has its place in our history, but so does Europeans, and so does the French, and so does the Native Americans. Our experience here is been one of it's distinctive in its distinction, and we need to quit downplaying our experience as Americans, has Black Americans, and our experience of what we experience. Even when Africans come here, they don't sometimes recognize, if you talk to some Africans, they don't sometimes recognize Blackness because they say, oh, I wasn't Black till I got to America, because that's an American experience. In their countries, it's usually tribalism and stuff like that, but it's an American experience. And that's just becoming us not understanding the depths of who we are. The spiritual experience doesn't come from Africa. It's Africa's experience. Our first experiences is as our first experiences as Africans in America, but then it turns into Americans and an American experience. We're still, and it turns into Black people in America because we start becoming something else. We start becoming sons and daughters of slaves, sons and daughters of slaves owners, sons and daughters of Native American slave owners. All kinds of things start to shape our history. The French, this, that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'll say on that. Okay, and I agree with Tucker crossing it somewhat. Okay, all right, you guys. So another thing I want to talk about. Let me see. I'm trying to get it together with all the little stuff I want to talk about. Okay. And so, and yeah, my belief is that we should definitely be called uh we are definitely Americans. We're Black Americans. We're our traditional Black Americans, foundational Black Americans, ADOS, whatever. Here's my thing about ADOS and Black American. Let me just say something, the difference between my personal opinion. I love both people. I like Tariq Nasheed a lot. I like Yvette Carnell. I don't have no beef. I ain't got no beef, no. But what I will say is I think I know Yvette them are tend to be more stronger in a lot of the the education of what's going on in certain parts of things America with stats and stuff like that. Um, but they're very. I think sometimes what people might be turned off about is that even though Yvette them can be kind of they kind of speak hard, go hard on the Democrats. It's too democratic. Evolve. It still seems like it's a democratic thing. And I just feel like at this point in time, Black people should be an independent group of people. We shouldn't have it should be whoever's gonna whoever I don't think politics should be personal. In terms of personal, in terms of us liking, we have to like you. You know what I'm saying? Personal in the way of that what it does for us as a people, but not personal where we have to like the people. But we need to learn how to put pressure because pressure is what works on politicians. Pressure and money. Um, Now Tyreek, I think Tyreek is an excellent. Tyreek is he great makes great history stories. Tyreek tends to get those subjects that nobody wants to do, and Tyreek is an awesome marketer. I'm not surprised that FBA caught on a little bit more. And as much as I love Yvette and them and what something they stand for, I feel like I feel like they don't understand. You even if you can disagree with Tyreek about a lot of stuff, but Tyreek is excellent at marketing. And he don't talk, he don't lay on what he gonna do. He do it. Like you say, go build that Black museum. He got that museum up. Whether you think it's a nightclub or whatever you think it is, it's still up. I haven't been to it yet. I have to see it. But he moves in what and he moves fast. And I don't think it's because he doesn't like Black people or he's a shyster or he's all this and that. I think people, first of all, people tend to show his Mac things and all that stuff. People have the right to evolve. People have the right to be something different. People have the right to change. Whatever you hear some of my old blog talk shows, you be like, oh Lord, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not against that. I'm not like totally is feeling like because he's a person that's decided to not only do uh he does awesome marketing and he's good at the language of the ordinary person, of the ordinary Black person. Tyreek knows how to speak to grassroots in some ways. And I don't consider that, if you want to consider him an agent, I don't know. I don't know who's what and who's not. But what I do know is he's good at that. And I'm not surprised that that's gotten over into mainstream. Doesn't mean that the other groups and what they're saying can't be done to it. It's just like I remember hearing this story years ago that where somebody told this story about there was a huge Walmart coming into the neighborhood, and all the other stores decided to close down around the Walmart, just giving up and figuring that, oh, the Walmart's going to take over. We're never going to be. But this one drugstore decided, I'm going to stay open, and I'm going to stay open right next to the Walmart. And people couldn't understand for years. This was a little story that somebody told. I don't know if it's true or not, but they said people didn't understand for years why the drugstore thrived. And they went in one day to ask the drugstore owner, and he says, "Well, everything they don't have, I got." So I just what I don't reject Walmart. I tagged onto Walmart so it can take me where I need to go. Has this drugstore, so I stay successful because I'm right. So in some senses, I hope that these people learn to. And I think, you know what, I'm gonna say this. I think Tyreek kind of learns to do that, even though he jokes and stuff like that. I think he's kind of learned to do that with ADOS, but ADOS hasn't learned to do that with him. And I hope they all kind of figure it out, because sometimes that's what has to happen. You just have to tag up, and then your brand gets to be heard as a result of the other brand. You know what I'm saying? So that's just, and I know you still have to make yourself distinctive. I'm so for you making what your difference is, but we just have to understand that. Okay, that's just my personal opinion on that note. Okay, but now I saw this the other day. This guy saying black people don't risk your life for ICE. Okay. Now, so I've seen this guy before. I agree with some of the things he says, some things I don't, but I have to share him because he said what he's saying is I really believe is true. And I was just talking to somebody about this the other night. So let me show y'all this.
Putting yourself in harm's way for
And it's from Rob Smith Online.
these illegals. Do not be going out there and doing these ICE protests and standing up for these illegals. These illegals do not care about you. They come to your schools and overwhelm them. They come to your communities and overwhelm them. They take over benefits that you fought for and are leaving less on the plate for you. Do not go to these ICE protests and fight for these illegals, because I will tell you this, these white liberals that are in charge of all these ICE protests and all that stuff, they would love nothing more than to see a dead black person come out of one of these protests. I am telling you, they would love to see a black person go out there and get killed so that they can get BLM involved and they can get emotional blacks to think that this is, you know, some fight that we need to be involved in. And let me tell you something, black people, we don't. This is not our fight. Don't go put yourself in harm's way for these illegals. Don't go out there and be foot soldiers for these white liberals. Do not be a dead black body that these white liberals want for this movement. Do not put yourself in harm's way for these illegals and these white liberals. Black people, mind your black business. Black people, I beg of you, don't be going out there and putting yourself in harm's way for these illegals.
I must agree. Listen, they have been trying for the longest to get black people in this. And I'm going to say this, black Americans, people love to harvest our energy. Why? Because you toppled with your protest, with your stance against a harsh system of racism, even though you haven't toppled it completely, because racism is still a thing in America. People love to latch on to your fight and say it's their fight. Like, because Black America has a legitimate claim. You have the real legitimacy. If there's some mistreatment, yes, other groups have been mistreated. But if there's some mistreatment, if you get these black people out here in front of us, it means our thing is legit. Even though we don't like black people and we can be just as racist to black people as these white folks. If we get black people to lay claim on our thing, it makes it legit. And you got black people from the NAACP, which is scary as fuck, going on, and I'm gonna play that going on Breakfast Club saying stuff like, the ICE reminds me of the KKK. I'm like, huh? What? Oh no. I mean, please, okay. So yeah, I mean, listen, I agree with this man. They want to harvest Black American energy to use it for protests in this country, and nothing more than a Black dead body will get us. They know what will get us out in the street. These white liberals, they can't get us to move right now because we mad, so they can't get us to move. And they are, and a lot of Black people, Black Americans are waking up to the bullshit, but they can't get us to move in it. So what they would love to do is get somebody out here that's a part of us and then turn it into your movement. No, and no, and no, and no. Don't buy into the bullshit. It is a harvesting of energy. I'm telling you, Democrats been doing this to Black Americans for the longest, loving to harvest our energy for situations that are not us, or have nothing to do with us. We end up protesting and all this stuff for everybody else to only be left behind in the end. Nope. We'll save our energy for our shit. And I believe that, okay? I just really believe he is right on that, okay? Let's see. Which one do I want to... Okay, there's so much. Okay, you guys, let's see what this part is. I want to talk. Okay, let's talk about Keith Sweat talked about, he was on the Breakfast Club and he talked about never receiving a BET award, Grammy, or a Soul Train award. Let's listen to this.
A BET award.
That's BET problem.
I never won a Grammy.
That's the Grammy problem.
You know what I'm saying? But when I get on stage, I always say, y'all are my Grammys, because look, you know, everybody that has done that, they not even still relevant. You know, I'm still headlining, I'm still doing what I do. So I'm still able to do tours and, you know, do 6,000-7,000 or more people. So
yeah, but you know, I think about like how BET honored Teddy Riley, like that was maybe 10 years ago now, right? They got to do that for you. Because if you're going to do a New Jack Swing tribute, definitely salute
I
to
don't
Teddy.
want it.
What? What?
Because you know why I don't want it? If I haven't got, listen, I'm funny. Yeah, y'all got to understand how funny I am. My attitude in life is give it to me when I deserve it.
You deserve it right
No,
now.
hold up. This is, I've had more heads. First of all, if you don't give it to me when I deserve it, like I told my daughter, if God forbid I leave here today tomorrow, you better not take no award they try to give you now. Because, you know, like my attitude is this, right? You know, don't try to give me my flowers when I'm not here. And then, like, I be seeing them do that to people. And I'm like, yo, you never really acknowledged them like that when they was here. Come on. I don't want that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm the man that I am. You know, I teach my kids to be the same way. You know, be proud men. Don't take a handout. You know what I'm saying? Don't give it to me because now you want to make this big thing and you want people to come and acknowledge. Man, that's for the networks and shit. The fuck that shit.
So if BET, the Grammys, or any of those organizations come out and say, we want to do something for you, you're going to say no.
Yep.
Wow.
Damn, Key.
Why you say that?
I don't know.
I would love to see you get your flowers.
She just felt the damn was appropriate.
I would love to see you get your flowers.
Look where I'm at. I got my flowers. I'm where I'm like, thing is different. Everybody.
I somewhat agree with Keith Sweat and I somewhat don't. Let me explain something, Keith. I remember when you came along in the 80s and it was a lot of competition, man. I mean, the 80s and 90s for music. I mean, like it ain't like Beyonce. Beyonce just the Grammys has turned to dust. I mean, they was already a little questionable, but they done really turned to dust with Beyonce getting 28 awards and all that, just ridiculousness. And I mean, now nobody takes it. I don't know if nobody takes it seriously. Beyonce winning the country award. I mean, you gotta know somebody got some, at least back in the day when people would win Grammys, we couldn't tell the fix was fucking in. Now we can tell the fix is fucking in. Okay. Yes, even with Taylor Swift. Even though I like Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift's an awesome songwriter. Okay, and her team. but you know what I'm saying? Beyonce is a hype machine. And I don't, and the reason why I say that, and I'm not saying because she black don't mean I'm all the way supporting, because I think she's done damage. The hyper, even though I like Beyonce, I'm a Beyonce, at times I'm a Beyonce fan. I go to Beyonce shows and stuff like that. I've seen Beyonce a lot. I've supported Beyonce's products and stuff. Well, y'all, some of y'all haven't. But I will say this. I think the overhypeness of Beyonce and putting her in places where she hasn't belonged, she hasn't, to me, in my opinion, like she jumps every line. It's just not because she wants to, but just to create hype and more the fix of the awards and everything. She's damaged, to me, a lot of black artists' career because there's been an over hyper thing, and it's not her fault. I mean, it'd be her people's fault. An over hyperness of who she is, and there's been an over fixation, not on her music, but more so about aesthetics, how she looks, her personal life. It's just a lot to get going on there with Beyonce. Like I told y'all last week, I said you can put Mary J. Blige in a versus with Beyonce and see who wins. Okay, you then you see the truth. I'm trying to tell y'all see the truth. Okay, there's a reason y'all like Beyonce, and Beyonce is a wonderful performer. She's a beautiful girl, but a lot of it's those reasons. Okay, it's not because you're not like you're so happy with. If you like it, then you should have put a ring on it. You know what I'm saying? I don't really like that something like that. I like some a lot of my favorite Beyonce songs. First of all, we all love the braggadocious songs, but I also think some of my favorite songs by Beyonce are not big hits. It's just the way they promoted her. They just did her a disservice. They did her a disservice to me by trying to throw her in every lane. I call her, she's like the LeBron James of music. So like, is that the right? Some people are thinking that's good, but I don't say that in a good way. Even though I like LeBron, I'm not saying that in a good way because LeBron to me is a stats person. He's like, but he's no Jordan or Kobe to me. I like LeBron, but he's not. Jordan and Kobe is different to me. But it's the same thing. I like Beyonce, but I just don't consider her. I think the overhypeness and the oversaturation of her has damaged the other groups. Like when I was coming up, Whitney Houston was the big dog in the room. Okay, everybody know Whitney Houston was the big dog in the room, but there was also so many other singers out there. You didn't have to just go for Whitney. It wasn't an oversaturation of Whitney, and Whitney wasn't hype. Whitney was the motherfucking truth. First off, but there was such an oversaturation. There were so many artists. Like you had Sade, you could listen. You had Anita Baker, you had Janet Jackson, you had all kinds. There was such a variety. Toni Braxton, such a variety of people, and it wasn't one energy trying to siphon and steal from other energies and demand it to be worshipped by other celebrities. And they don't give nothing back. Oh, it's just. I'm serious. It's just, I've never seen such an enormous machine. Michael Jackson's machine wasn't even that. Even though Michael Jackson was the most famous artist in history, Michael Jackson's machine wasn't a pushy one. I got to have you out the way so that I can look good. I can be the top dog in the room. It just was never that. Michael just was. Ugh, it's cringy. It's something about her team that has that, and I can't explain. You know what it is? It's the Dream Girls thing, I think. What some people perceive Diana Ross to be at one point in time. Even though I think Diana Ross wasn't even that pushy. Her energy. I've never seen nothing like this, but I digress. But I think that Keith, you were coming into an age of where music was super great, and Make It Last Forever album was one of the great albums of the 80s and the late 80s and 90s and stuff like that. But it was so much competition, baby, by 93, 94, 90, you talking about the era of where soul music starts to re-emerge, where the classic soul music starts to re-emerge, and you get artists like D'Angelo, Maxwell, Erica, uh, 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 Jaguar, Jill, whatever. You get all kinds of groups. You start to see the emergence of Black American soul come through again. Yeah, no, I mean, I love Keith Sweat, but he's a great songwriter, awesome songwriter, one of the best in the business. But yeah, I think it was just a matter of competition. It's just like when I heard what's his name, Kenny Lattimore, talk about how he never made it big, and part of that was Kenny Lattimore came along during the Sony age of Maxwell. You know, it's like, yeah, how you gonna mess with that? Even though Maxwell is an artist, Maxwell is an odd artist. Maxwell is an artist that I want it, but I don't want it. And y'all still couldn't fuck with it. I mean, like this. Nah, he is that art. He's one of those artists where I want it, but I don't want it. Do I want a fame? I kind of want it. I kind of want it. Peekaboo, here I am. Oh, no, I'm not. I don't want it. Here I am again. Oh, nope, I don't think I want it. I think this is the most out there we've seen Maxwell in the last 6 years. Maybe what's it? How's it been the last since the Pretty Wings album, 2016? This is the most you've gotten of Maxwell. I mean, it's constant touring. Remember when Maxwell hardly like you used to beg for a Maxwell show? Like not no more. Maxwell tours a lot. I mean, and he does a variation of tour, but this is the most you've gotten. You haven't. One thing I give him, even though he hasn't made a new record, he is actually not gone away the last several years. He's been out here and about, baby. He's been out in these streets. Right? So, yeah, I mean, but you come along in that age when Kitty came along in that age, I was like, yeah, you probably would have got lost at Sony. I mean, yeah, I get it. Maxwell came along in your era. I mean, and one of the most interesting vibes to soul music I think I have ever seen. And that is because he's from a different background, in my personal opinion. Even though he sings Black American soul music, the vibe that you got when he shows up. And I think when I look back at it, I really kind of think sometimes I go back and forth with this, that it was unfair for him to be compared with D'Angelo because the vibe was just something different. Two great artists, but just two very different variations of vibe. D'Angelo has more of feels like churchy, so background South. Maxwell is as a and I don't want this to sound like an insult to Maxwell. Maxwell is the experience you're getting of Maxwell, to me, that Maxwell brings is a kid who's observant of the Black American sound, a kid who was observant of this sound that he was growing up in as a first generation Haitian Puerto Rican. He's growing up, he's a Black man, but he's first generation Puerto Rican Haitian. He's experienced Black Americanism on the radio through soul music and all these things. And so his sound to me is why he is in the Black American sound. He's using the Black American sound. It is mixed with his background a little bit, the style of his background and this kind of Caribbean bohemian type of imagery he brought, which was very different. It puts a different place in soul music. It isn't but he's still doing Black American sound, but it's an observation of Black American sound with a touch of bringing himself to the table. I'm singing this music that I've observed, but I'm also bringing this culturally, I remember when I was like young and I was looking at one of my favorite videos from Maxwell is Matrimony, and I thought, oh wow, how dope, because you can see influences of his his history in it. Like you could, I mean, his background in that video. Certain things, even in the something. I don't know if they meant to do that or if that's something he meant to do or something. But you could see already the very difference that he was bringing to the Black American soul sound, even though he's not Black American. You get what I'm saying? So yeah. So very interesting. And so Keith and people like that had to contend with all that 90s vibe going on. There was so much going on. I mean, yeah, hard, man. Even a great songwriter like Keith Sweat, it was just such a. I think Keith Sweat. I wouldn't hate BET and the Grammys and stuff. It was just one of those times. You know what I'm saying? And music was plentiful, and there were so many great acts and so many great people. It just and I don't think it was an overlooking of you. I think it was, and yeah, it could have been because Keith should have been nominated for a lot of Grammys at one point, especially in the R&B. But Grammys tend to not understand their category sometimes to me, and I've always had issues with that. But yeah, I definitely think I think he should understand the greatness of that time, and it wasn't personal. I think it was just so many great artists and acts of the time that that's what you got. All right, so moving on. Let me see what we're getting into. Okay. Let me see if I'm going to see what this next story is, you guys. I need to talk to you. Okay. Okay, so this week, very interesting interview with Cam Newton and Lady London. Very powerful, a powerful Lady London, talking about a young lady who is grounded. Ooh, I saw two beautiful women this week grounded. A young lady like Lady London and a woman like Jill Scott, grounded in their energy, when they're giving these interviews. But this was very interesting because Lady London was dealing with Cam Newton on an interview. And let me say this, okay? No offense, but Jazzy, if you watch that interview, if here, this is my personal opinion, and I ain't saying that's what this is. I ain't say. This is my personal. If Lady London wanted it, she could take it. The man didn't know what to do in this interview. Mean, I mean, you talking about a woman just being. I loved her vibe. Oh my God, I loved her vibe. I was like, wow. So let me let y'all hear this, okay?
Extreme. I'm a Cancer. I'm extremely sensitive. What's your sign?
I'm a God. The God that I serve said I'm a direct reflection of him.
Mm. Okay. God also illustrated the stars as signs and symbols to paint the image to Abraham. So it's definitely constellations and things like that are talked about in the Bible as well. But we can get into when's your birthday. I can redirect the question.
Okay. Every day is my birthday.
Okay. Fabulous. Love that.
There's like a part of me that's like Kanye West. And then there's also a part of me that like TD Jakes. And I'm just trying to ask you a question. I'm sorry. It's just May 11th, 1989. I was born on a Sunday, Mother's Day. I am my mom's favorite son. She would never admit it, but I think that to be true.
Got it.
Are you sensitive?
Extreme. I'm a Cancer.
You guys should see the whole interview. I mean, the way she's handling him. Listen, girls, it's a lesson. Cancer, full Cancer energy when Cancers are mature and grounded and know themselves. This is how powerful you can be, Cancer. You know, they love to say the most powerful of the water signs is Scorpio, but we're really not. We're just the ones who are the more psychic, we're not more psychic. We understand psychically what we more see, but the more psychic signs than us of the water signs is really Pisces and Cancer are both more psychic than us. They just don't tend to sometimes understand what they see. But when a Cancer is grounded in their energy, you get Lady London sitting there handling the earth. Has the earth is shaking. She's handled that earth. Taurus didn't want, I'm the guy. She's like, I'm like, listen, let me tell you something. Talk about if you a woman looking at this and seeing your man meet his match, Jasmine, I'm sorry, that man with his man. I mean, the way she handled the questions he was asking her, the way she moved with him. I was like, listen here, little girl. You did little girl to me, okay? But beautiful lady. Like the way she handled that, Cam, who usually be talking and be this and that, you could see moments in the interview where Cam like didn't know what to do. Like he was, and you could see where Cam was smitten because he was in the presence of somebody who was not compromising with him. And she wasn't doing it loud, and she wasn't doing it, let me see if I can show you. She wasn't doing it in a way that let me see if I can look it up here. Another part. In a way that exhibited control. It was very she handled it with power, in my opinion. Let me see. Let's listen. Okay.
Can I use a word that I've already used?
Sure. Word.
Eclectic.
Say it. Describe your style in one word. That's an adjective.
Can I use a word that I've already used?
Sure. Word.
Eclectic.
Say it again.
Eclectic.
It's eclectic.
Well, the heavy on the in because
there's no N in it.
No. It's my word.
Oh, let's unpack this. Okay, got it. Sure word.
Eclectic.
Spell it for me.
Nclecta.
Okay.
Eclectic.
Eclectic.
Do you want to know what the N stand for?
Niggatry. Am I right?
Jeez. Girl, handle his ass.
You see where I was going.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
Right now, Kim's in love, okay? I'm just telling you that right now. I'm going to tell you, Jazzy, he in love, okay? He might not say it. He might not. That woman does forever change. That's when a woman can walk into a man's life and just change his. She did that. I don't know if she's interested in Cam and I. She seems so far intelligent above Cam's pay grade. But listen here. The way she handled, it's just for young ladies to watch.
I know there's a new word. We got to hit up Webster.
No, we ain't got to hit up nobody.
Oxford, nobody.
Why would we do that? Do they relate to us?
I'm pretty big on words. It's kind of how I make my money, but I don't know. How would you describe your style in one word?
Listen, the way she was handling his ass. Crazy the way she was handling him. Yeah, I mean, this interview,
like for instance, like I never won a BET award.
That's BET part.
I never won a Grammy.
That's the Grammy.
You know what I'm saying? But
okay, we went back to there. But let me show you guys another one more. Hold on. See if I can. It was such an impressive interview. I just really liked it. I mean, it was really impressive on her end and how she handled stuff. Okay, I love this. Listen what she said.
Romantically connected with or intimate with has either appreciated or understood me, but never both.
Explain.
I think, in short, I think people have come into my life sometimes for the idea of me. A lot of people like the idea of what I represent. Outside of my artistry that you can see from the mainstream, it's the look of she's out the way. She doesn't talk to a lot of men. She does this and she lays low, and when you get into my life, you realize I'm slightly more domesticated than you'd even imagine. I've learned anybody who I've been romantically connected with or intimate with has either appreciated or understood me, but never both.
Explain.
I love when she said that because I can relate to that. My years they that would run into that often, that people can appreciate you or either they don't understand you. Or they either understand you or appreciate you. It's never really both. So I got that. When as a young lady to have that in your mind at her age, powerful. I thought that was a great observation, and that it would be a Cancerian observation when Cancers are at their, when you're not whiny, when you're not. Cancers are one of the strongest sides of the zodiac, and when you walking in your power, that's how it's supposed to be. And yes, she is domesticated because that's what Cancers are. Domesticated. They're loving, family oriented, all those things. Okay. But this is them when they're in their truth. Okay. I loved it. And I love the way she handled Cam and Jazzy. I will say this. Chad, don't watch this interview. Okay. Don't watch it. Don't watch it, because the chemistry that I was feeling from not her end, but from Cam coming to her, Cam was feeling that chick. She is such a beautiful soul, and I get it. Why wouldn't he? But Cam, let me just say this: you can't come to Lady London with no bullshit. I don't believe you come to her at all with no bullshit. You had to change your. That's when you'd have to get that. He would change his whole aura for her. That's when you know a man's in love with you. A man will change their shit. They will change their shit. They will be like, you know what? This is one right. I can't afford to be what I used to be. That's love right there. They'll change. They start changing everything. That's why when some women say, "Oh, well, he was with me. He wasn't doing all that and everything like that," because something about the way a woman is grounded in herself. Even if she loves a man, I'm not saying that Lady London like him or nothing like that, but I could see the energy and attraction. I could feel that energy from him, not from her, but from him. I felt it completely, because she's impressive, and I believe she's the truth. Not just impressive, but the truth. But one of the things is when you are grounded in who you are as a woman, even when you love a man, you ain't gonna let him change your shit. I mean, in terms of, you ain't gonna let him just change your ethics and morals and distract you. And if you do that a little bit, you so grounded that you understand, hey, this is not right, and you getting back in your space. That's the kind of young lady this is. If you get her off, she gonna get back. You know what I'm saying? So that's that to me. And she graduated from USC, very smart, very brilliant, not just book smart, but mentally and spiritually seems like she got it together. Okay. And you ain't gonna come with her no bull crap. Okay. You ain't gonna do no bullshit. Okay. Because she's grounded in herself. All right. And when you're not grounded in yourself, and when you let somebody shift you in ways, in certain ways, to see, and not shift you for the good, because when people can come into your life to shift you for the good, But if they're not shifting your aura in terms of good, and they're making you're doing suddenly things you would never do and things that are hurting you and stuff like that, that is a compromising of who you are. And in the back, sometimes men tend to not respect that. You saw that young lady coming in there in that interview. She was handling him so readily. Like, I'm not compromising my aura for you. Understand you and who you in the presence of. Shout out to Lady London. She did that, okay? Love watching that interview, okay? And I love some of the things that she had to say. Very smart, intelligent things, okay? Moving on. Okay. Tamar Braxton discussed that she wants to be out of the streets. She don't like being in the streets no more. So let's listen to Tamar talk about this.
Want to still get married?
Girl, yes, I am a wife. I am not no streetwalker. And I'm upset I'm still in the street. Like, what's going on?
Why are you still in the streets?
Because
I know your DMs are full. Are you just not wanting
full of
to
the
look?
right fertilization? There's not the right gas. Okay. I take premium. It's getting very much regular unleaded. Thank you.
What type of man is Tamar
A good
attracted
man.
to? What does that mean anymore?
A good. Let's start there. You find that, and then we can go down.
She's like, it's tough out here. Really?
Yeah.
Just a good man.
Start with the good man.
I think people are. We talked about this, and we were saying that sometimes people might feel intimidated because you are a type of woman who knows
oh my God, it drives me crazy.
what you want.
No. Listen, let me tell you something. There are so many successful women nowadays. I think it's irresponsible to entertain this conversation. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that is not a deficit in a relationship because your woman is balling and a boss.
True.
You understand what I'm saying? And we got to like change that conversation.
So does this show make you want to still get married?
Girl, yes, I am a wife.
Okay, so I know a lot of y'all in the comments was talking about Tamar's immaturity and all these stuff on the shows and everything, but Vince, she was married to Vince for a number of years. Let me just say this about Tamar. I do believe Tamar is a Pisces who does not pick out of looks and stuff like that. Vince is not that Vince is a bad looking guy, but Vince is not what you would have expected Tamar to typically be with. And I don't believe Tamar was just with Vince for gold dig. I believe Tamar, like, I saw her in person with Vince and the dynamic go on between them. I feel like Tamar really liked Vince, really had a relationship, whether it was heavily romanced or whatever, but I really believe she loved Vince. And it was probably hard for her to go through that. But now I think coming out of that divorce era and stuff like that, she's trying to find something with a little bit more who she is energy wise and everything like that. Let me just say this, okay? And here's the problem here, girls. There's more to do. I hate you women are going on talking about, I wish I'd be more Tracy-like. And let me explain why. And I know the manospheres hate the Tracy-like people, but I really believe that Tracy shows a woman with a life fulfilled. Even if she misses, maybe I wish I had a man. Because there are a lot of married women who wish they had your time, wish they had singleness. You know what I'm saying? Just like you are single, wishing she was once married and got single. You know what I'm saying? So she understands both. But there is so much more to life than having a man. And I know you want one. I'm not against. I know y'all saying, hey, Carlotta, you can say you got a man. But no, I'm just saying, no, there is. For real, you can do so much because that's how the men come. The men don't come with you sitting up on show like, I'm looking for them. If they ain't my premium, men come. Your energy attracts them in terms of you having a full life. Like being so busy, it's not just successful. It's really not having the energy of a need for a relationship. Like, yes, you might be a wife, but there needs to be so much going on in your life. There are so many things you can do. And I think it hurts women to come on and say those things. You can say, yeah, I'm looking for somebody. I love Tracy Ellis and how she handles herself. Tracy Ellis Ross. She's just such a Scorpio. Tracy's like, you know what? I'm enjoying my life. I don't have to be married. I don't have to be a mommy. I don't have to be any of these things. I have nieces, nephews. I enjoy my time. I'm single. I'm beautiful. I know it's intimidating to the world, but I am content with this. And it doesn't mean she doesn't want a partner, because I hear Tracy saying that she would like a partner, but her life isn't just only built on that. And I just feel like that's you do yourself a disservice as women. Quit talking about needing these fucking. It's bad out here. I don't get this unleaded in my DMs and all that. So who don't? I'd be like, it might be bad out here. I don't know. I'm so busy. I don't know this. I mean, it'd be great. Yeah, it'd be great. But hey, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's when the energy would come to you. This is what I'm just seriously. We was talking the other day. I was talking to a friend of mine. She was saying, "What would could you imagine yourself if something how I hear she was somebody." She was saying how things were so bad, different. It's hard to find a man. We were hanging out together, and I said, "Well," she said, "What you mean you? How would you feel if you had to get back?" I said, I feel like Felicia Rashad when I heard Felicia Rashad say, "There's not a place." Or a thing that she can't find a way to live in or be or adjust. Listen, let me tell you, okay? Life will be, I would find a way to have a fulfilled life. I was single for a long time. But you can have a way to have a fulfilled life being single until that person comes along. But I think if you're out there and you're just longing and oh my God, and you know what I'm saying? I just think it's just fulfilling your life, being the best version of yourself. There are so many people who are married and who would love your time. Who would love your some women I know who love love to be out in there's some women who I know right now who's with people who talk about they want to be out in the streets. Even though they look dangerous. It's true. I mean, I've talked to women that who like they getting ready to go out in the streets, okay? Where they getting divorced or they ending long-term relationships and stuff like that. So just be content with where you're at for the space and time. And I know it's hard, but y'all give the manosphere y'all hate the manosphere, but y'all give them such energy when you don't look like women. When you look like that, that's the most important thing. That even though I know that was the part they asked her about in the interview, but it is what it is. Okay. Okay, moving on. I had more to say with that, but now I can't. I'm like, it doesn't come as readily as it was coming before, but okay, and this is kind of along the same story I wanted to talk about too. This is kind of the same thing. And this is our last story, but I think this is the last one. Is this the last one? Yes. Okay, I think so. Let me let y'all hear this. This is a young lady talking about what I consider passport bros. And I put this on my tab on the podcast Facebook page, but I don't believe from a man's perspective, this isn't bashing black women. It's an honest conversation I had with my partner about passport bros. It says, and I put what I said about, well, I'm gonna let you hear her first before I tell you what I said on my post. So let's listen to what she said these passport bros are saying, okay?
Interesting conversation. We're always having very interesting conversations. And I was asking him, I said, what is it about Black women that Black men don't like? And I said this because we go to Thailand all the time. And Thailand is like DR and Colombia, where Black men love to go. They'll marry a woman there, pay her bills, and leave there, right? And I said, this has to be more than just cooking and cleaning. And he said, it is. He says that, like, you can get, because I said, is it the fact that, you know, the cost of living is different? So Black men will pay these women's bills and then they're, you know, much nicer, much sweeter. They'll cook and clean versus in America, you know, Black men aren't paying Black women's bills. And he was like, no, like a Black man will pay any woman's bills, right? But the difference is, he said, you'll pay a woman's bills and she'll still leave you, she'll still divorce you, and she'll still put you on child support, which is a big financial loss and emotional loss for most men. Where he was saying that with women in other countries, they're not going to do that. But he said, unless you bring them to America and then they all of a sudden know about divorce and child support. So this I have mentioned, and correct me if I'm wrong, that a lot of American women, just American women, like all of our jobs are hard as hell. So we're doing the same jobs as the men here, and we're cooking and cleaning. Versus in another country, let's just say all the women got soft girl jobs, you know, and I'm not saying that's true, but I'm saying like what if all the women in the other countries are, even if they do work, they're chilling at work. So yeah, they're not exhausted coming home cooking and cleaning. And my partner was like, well, that's y'all want to have ambition. And I'm like, we have to, like, who's going to pay our bills? And he's like, we are. He's like, traditionally, that's what y'all do. You stay in your parents' house until you get married and your husband pays bills. And I said, that's not realistic in our world. I know plenty of people who got kicked out of the house when they were 18 and had to go fend for themselves. So they're going to know, oh, I'm waiting on a man. That there are actually really a lot of situations where women, they still can't, like, their parents do kick them out. But what they do is they do what they got to do to get a man to pay the bills. So I'm like, just this conversation could just get so long. So my part.
Well, let me just say this: passport bros. Even though there are a lot of Black American men going over there, and a lot of if you hear some of those women now, again, Black American men, do you think? Let me ask you this question, okay? Why do you think the men are not? It's not because it's not a racist country. Why do you think certain women are coming to you, are going to you? Can they not get Dominicans? Can they not get it's a certain type of Black man that is going to those places. Let me just tell you that I'm just going to tell you it's a certain type of Black men, and it's not a big percentage. And I question the type of women they're getting from those cultures. Talking about they're overall a better, greater women. Well, do you think men would be so happy in that culture about you coming over there and just trying to usurp their women because you feel they're just better? You feel like they're more domesticated, all those things. And which is somewhat not true, because I've heard of people still having bad experiences in those places. But I think Black men have such a hard time in American life. Some Black men have learned to cope with racism, but then you have a crop of Black men who have not learned to deal with racism, the effects on the Black American family, the effects on themselves, and also the effects of living in a world where women are a little bit more, where everybody is dominant in the society, but the Black man. Meaning Black women are even dominant, because Black women had to be, because for Black men to be dominant, Black American men to be dominant in certain instances, especially growing up in Jim Crow segregation in the South and stuff like that, for Black men to be assertive and dominant could cost them their lives. A lot of times women were taking on the strong parts of relationships and things like that. So it's really affected Black American life in a different way. And so a lot of Black American men, some of them, not all of them, feel a sense of, they want to go somewhere where even if it's not real, they be look like they treated like a king. They're again, I want to mimic the white man in some ways. You know what I'm saying? It's just, there's a lot to that. But what I said on my thing is, I said, I don't believe this is the reason. Also, there's more of an expectation in other cultures. Now, as far as leaving is concerned, there is usually many reasons for a demise. For as far as leaving is concerned, men talking about, because she said men were saying they could pay all the women's bills, they could do all this stuff, but women will still leave. Paying a woman's bills and doing things for a woman is not a prerequisite for her to. That's a beautiful thing you do, but you have to do more than that. That's not the first thing. It's funny. Why is that the first thing you think about? You have to also have love, kindness, all kinds of things. If you don't have those things, yeah, people can still leave. And that's in the Dominican. You don't think they get divorces in Dominican? You don't think they get divorces in other countries? All these countries y'all run into, they do. And it's also probably not understanding the cultural dynamics in which they run into too, also. But it says, and as far as, there's usually many reasons for the demise of a marriage and relationships. Investing finances is not a guarantee for a great relationship. Okay, let me just say that investing finances, sprinkle, is not a guarantee for a great relationship. It is a hope that you have a good relationship, but it's not a guarantee. I say Black women, don't beat yourself up over the issues that go beyond you. This is issues of dynamics of race. Sometimes men are just lames, and they know they become lames in the American culture, and they don't know how to change their personality. So they try to go to one culture and try to fool themselves that they're not a lame. But what I've discovered here is this is the discovery of this. Personality defects don't leave you because you go to another country. Lame is lame no matter where you go. It may take the other country a little bit longer to recognize it, but lame is lame is lame is lame. The other women might stay and pretend it because they live in more impoverished circumstances. Basically, what they're saying is we're looking for ways, we looking for ways to get women who are already down on their luck and everything, so we can come in and be the king, and they have to stay with us. They appreciate it so when they just. But is it that really happening? Is there a secret demise is there a secret secret of, yeah, I like all what you give me, but I really don't like you? There's so much to this, girls. I would not worry about passport bros. Black women, do not worry. Just keep being you. There are things that we can always learn to be better as a culture of women, but we're going to be for a small percentage that call themselves, which a lot of them is. Some of them are dealing with lame issues. Not all of them, but some of them being lame is a lame is a lame. Okay. You can find a woman all over the world with your perspectives and your ideas. You don't have to travel to certain places and try to manipulate an impoverished population to buy into you. That's pimp shit. Going over there trying to, buy her up everything, making her look like you big baller shot caller and stuff like that. Eventually, she's going to recognize you alike. Okay. Moving on. That's it. That's the last of the show. Yeah. Listen, we'll end it with that. But this is not to dog for some men to go over there. They haven't, that. And I feel like you shouldn't be going over there looking for love. It's all these men doing the same thing. And you think they don't know that? They be laughing. I've seen videos on YouTube where the women laugh at them. because that's a culture and place you don't understand. You thinking you understand, but what it sounds like to me is heavy on manipulation, like love after lockup people. They always people who go for people when they in weak circumstances. Well, I'm going over here to these women because they in weak circumstances. That's the only way I'm gonna get me a good woman is to go over there. Why? Because they, them girls over there, they ain't got much money. They real pretty, ain't got much going on. As long as they don't come to America and find themselves, I'm going over here and find somebody don't know herself. See, that's a personality defect in you because there are some things you don't want to straighten out in yourself. It's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, you may have a little problems here and there with Black women culturally or American women culturally and stuff like that. But a lot of those types of men have defects in themselves and they don't want to focus or straighten them out. So what they do is try to go over and manipulate a impoverished population. It's just like when people go to Love After Lockup, when they go to the jailhouse and Love After Lockup. I'm not trying to compare women in the Dominican and all those places to Love After Lockup, but sometimes a lot of these men are going because they're going. These women they haven't. There's some women who are very poor in some of these countries and stuff, and they don't have to do a lot. They can do the bare minimum. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gotta really work all hard. I ain't gotta really do none of this. It's just a kind of a sense of manipulation and preying on those women so that you won't have to keep growing. A lot of men are going on over there praying, not all men, but there's a lot of men going over there praying on impoverished women and hoping you can trap them women in relationships and stuff. Oh, they're a little bit more impoverished than the average American woman. They don't have so much. And while that there is some things that could culturally be studied to that, I also see that as a form of manipulation, heavy manipulation, where you see in some countries where women are subjected to harsh things and bad things. This is no different. It's kind of scary when I hear that kind of talk because I don't think I don't think what she said that there were any good reasons. Usually though, when you hear people though, a lame is a lame is a lame is a lame. I'm just telling you usually mostly what it is. Okay. So women, don't worry about these men that's going. Most of those women doing you a good favor service. Okay. All right, you guys, thank you for hanging out with me like you do every week. I hope you enjoy my commentary. I'm gonna try to do a show before, you got a long time. You got a couple of weeks before the cruise. So yeah, try to do a show before the cruise and everything. But you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. Enjoy. What else? Is there something else I need to talk to y'all about? I think that's it. Okay, enjoy. Remember, you can hit me up on the Carlotta Chat with Facebook page. You can also hit me up on Carly's_Galaxy on Instagram, and then there's a link there for Threads. You can also hit me up on Keisha Carlotta on TikTok, and there is Carlotta72 and C Chat with Show, 2 different accounts on TikTok. Okay, you guys, thank you for hanging out with me. I will see you. Have a good rest of your week. All right, bye-bye.